Hey riders, here we go again. Sunday morning, the day after Vegas, tackling the Halloween event here. Uh, just want to note that everyone seems to be doing it early. I'm not concerned. I'm not going to get credit for this. I'm going to end up riding it probably October 31st morning, and I'll try to set it up with some ghosts or virtual partners. Since my last video featuring ghost riders didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, and I thought I'd throw this video together as well, just because my last video was more of just rambling about my vacation and stuff. So here we are, the Halloween course. It is 19.6 kilometers long. That's 12.2 miles, with 276 meters of climbing, 905 feet. What you'll see right away is that out to about kilometer 11, it's false flat to climbing all the way. Nothing too serious. As you can see here on the screen, I'm on my TT bike as usual. To me, this rate's a TT course ride. And in fact, what you can do is search on Google, wherever you want to search Rouvy Analyzer app, and it'll take you to a program where you can find this route. It's already on there, and it'll show you which bikes are the fastest with the fastest times at a certain effort over this course. I see there's lots of people riding road bikes here. That's their thing. Uh, from the Analyzer app, the best bike to use is the Shiv, followed by the Arium, and then the S5. If you don't like running TTs, go with that S5 as soon as you can get it. It's very, very fast. It gets a 4-star, I believe it's a 4-star aero rating, and I think a 2-star weight rating. Maybe it's 3. So basically, star ratings, the higher the better. So look at the weight rating star and the aero rating star, add them up, and the higher the number, the better. So like the Shiv that I'm riding, it only gets a 1-star for weight rating, meaning it's heavy. 5 stars means lighter, but it has a 5-star aero rating, so it gets a 6 rating overall. And I think for a while, I think the S5 might have a 7, but maybe they've tweaked it down to a 6. But yeah, so use the Shiv if you can get it. The Arium is within a couple of seconds so far recorded of the Shiv. And that bike is free when you first sign on to Rouvy. So just cranked this out this morning. A lot of people were saying that people were riding it too early. The event hasn't officially started, which is absolutely true. Doesn't start, I think, until about 5 o'clock this afternoon, my time. But I just wanted something to do that was easy. My October month of riding, and probably my September and most of August. Look at this guy go by. This rider here, Birdie Bassett, 6, real deal. So usually when I see riders like this, they came up flying behind me. Birdie here is going to ride probably 4 watts per kilo all the way. Very strong rider. What you can do after a ride is done, you can go into your training diary, pull up the course. Then at the very bottom of the page, there'll be a blue link to the actual course. Go to last passes. And I remember Birdie's name. I'm like, oof, look at this person. Typed in Birdie's name. They're riding, I think they were riding a Watt bike. Almost positive. Look at the spooky ghost just popped out at us. So legit rider there. I think they averaged 260 watts all the way. Whereas I don't manage to do that today. Um, so what they've done here for the Halloween course is, I think this is one of the Cedar Redwoods rides, one of the California rides. It looks very familiar to me with the trees. They put a nice dark spooky shade on it and put in pumpkins and tombstones. Look on the left side here right now, tombstones and pumpkins, skeletons to support you on your ride. They're not going to grab you or anything. So yeah, you can check out people's results after the ride, because sometimes you're like, hey, I'm killing myself here. How is that person so good? Because sometimes people are just that good. That's the reality of it, right? Uh, yeah, cruising along here. So back to my consistency story. After this ride today, I've only got 9 rides in for all of October. And that's got a lot to do with traveling at the beginning of the month to the Power Trip Festival in California, coming home sick, starting a new job that fills up most of my day, running a second part-time job that takes up the other parts of my day. So my middle stretch of the day where I used to always ride like 10, 11, 12 o'clock, I don't have that anymore. That doesn't exist. So I get lots of invites to rides, which I really want to do, but by the time I get home at 6:30 at night and do my animal chores outside, like I said, some of you may know that I live on an acreage, bunch of horses, goats, pigs, donkeys, you name it, we got it. By the time I'm all done that and eating at 7:38, I'm just not going to ride at that point. There's no way. Uh, I'm a morning person, so I usually get up at 4 a.m., watch TV for a couple hours, some YouTube, um, jump on the bike around 6. So I'm always looking for early morning rides from now on. So I'm going to ride this again, probably on Wednesday. So yeah, consistency, I've said it in a few places, super important. I think it's better to keep riding every day, just switch it up. So you don't always have to do that hour all out assault or 2 hours endurance ride. And I'm not someone to ride like zone 2, zone 3. You can tell by the screen here, like all my data with this video is all public to you guys. There's nothing hidden in these videos. Like usually you would never see someone's heart rate. Well, my heart rate's been high for a while with being sick and traveling, and probably 50% of it is lack of consistency on the bike. My heart rate spikes pretty hard. But what I was going to mention here, what's funny is that, I've seen race events where they're called zone 4 events. So, there's 7 heart zones. You got to ride no higher than zone 4. I'm automatically disqualified from those events before I even start because you can see here I'm riding zone 7. According to the app and Rouvy and your standardized heart rate measurements, I'm in zone 7, which obviously is not my zone 7 because I don't think many people could survive whatever this ride takes me 30 minutes plus in zone 7. This is just where I like to ride. This is my thing. So back to the consistency thing. What you could do is instead of going zone 2, zone 3, taking it easy, my style, and this is just my style, I still like to go super hard. I just make the ride really short. I'll find like a 5 or 6 kilometer ride that I know is going to take me, like, even with a hill, maybe 15, 20 minutes and just get after it as hard as I can. I'm done quick, moving on. I love to ride every day. Just this last month has been just an absolute time cruncher for me. Too many vacations. I mean, I've been to Vegas and California twice in the last month. Sorry, I meant to say twice to the States in the last month alone, early October, late October. Um, Trying not to do that anymore for a little while, but the wife likes to travel a lot. Love this section of the course here. Really false flat stuff. And I really like pushing against these kinds of things. So outside of the very beginning of this ride, like maybe the first 100 meters until I realized it, I'm riding this big ring all the way. Now, I do have a cyclocross bike. So my big ring's not that big because the jump from the small to the big in the front, I've got a 50 front and a 36 small, big and small in the front. So it's a 50-36. I kind of wish I had more in the front, maybe a 52, back to old road bike stuff, right? But they say it's too big of a jump on my front derailleur. They're like, no, no, no. You're going to be dropping your chain all the time. So fair enough. Is what it is. And when I first started riding this bike, specifically on Rouvy, I had a lot of troubles hanging with my ride partners on the downhills because I only had a 46 at first. So I was spun out so fast. So depending what you're riding, you got to make sure your equipment suits the ride and your riding style too. You'll see coming up in a little while that, so I'm consistently trying to ride here 2.7 to 3 watts per kilo, knowing that I'm going to probably get a good average of 2.9, which I'm pretty happy with right now. It's not where I really want to be. Passing a bunch of riders here, seeing a few folks along the way out for a nice spooky ride. It's quite horrific out there, isn't it? It's pretty cool that Rouvy did this. And I'm sure all these people that rode today, I saw already on Facebook, they're all going to be asking, hey, why didn't I get credit for my ride? Well, because he did it too early. This happens a lot. So I just did that recently with the Global Tourist event. They dumped the rides out, and I really wanted to ride Devil's Tower. So I did it, and I had to do it again. But, oh well. Think of it as a way of, race against yourself. Put your personal best on and race against yourself. I thought this was pretty cool here. There's a guy that just went by. His name was SSG Gund or something. I raced against him just recently in another ride. And so his split time was showing up here. It could be a lady, I'm not sure, but their split time just showed up. Faster rider than me, that's for sure, because I haven't even hit the split yet. Uh, so we're coming up to the split. Don't think this is the top of the hill here. If you look at the top of the screen, if you're new to Rouvy, the Strava segment is at the top of the screen in the middle right now. You can see we're about 3/4 of the way through the Strava segment. And if you look at the profile on the bottom when it pops back up, the Strava segment basically ends at the top of the climb. So you can see here, I still got a good way to go. I still got I'm over a kilometer here. What is it, 1.4 kilometers? I'm still climbing. And I'm a little fatigued here. I can feel it. My heart rate's getting quite high here. You can see here I'm at 192 heart rate. I'm not young. So probably what I'm doing here coming up pretty quick is I'm going to start shifting into some bigger gears, bring my RPMs down. Actually, I think you can see it right now in the middle of that box in the top left. Get the RPMs into the 70s, and hopefully that'll start bringing my heart rate back down. If you spin really fast, if you're in the 90s spinning, for me anyways, and a lot of other folks, that's just going to really blast your heart rate up. So I'm probably working on trying to bring it down here. I hit 193. Not a big deal. Brazil last a week and a half ago, I hit 198. So I picked this ride too today because there were so many riders on it. There's lots of like dangling carrots to chase for, to jump across to. So just people out doing their rides, doing their thing, Sunday morning, getting after it, right? Keeping active. I just use them. Hey, can I jump to the next person? Can I jump to the next person? I'm always seeing something. Look, skeletons on the side of the road again. So I see there's people like, just over 300 meters ahead of me. So let's just use them as the next stepping point to jump up to. Still trying to get the heart rate down. I think I do get it down pretty good at one point here. And, most likely I'm probably just grinding through this now, hoping the end is near. And I've got this big descent now. It's like a descent, kind of flattens out, descent again. So you're probably talking, I'm just going to ballpark this, maybe 2 kilometers of downhill. So I got time to rest then. I don't got time to rest now. I need to get after it, right? So I'm at 191 right now. We're just hitting the top of the climb. And so what you need to remember too when you're on Rouvy is you need to keep pedaling on the downhills. If you don't keep pedaling on the downhills, you're not going to earn those gold coins. Not really sure at this point about the green XP, but in the old days, if you weren't pedaling, you're not getting credit for them. So if you're working on unlocking bikes, earning coins to buy that S5, probably the best bike in the game overall, that Shiv, all the other ones, maybe you want to get all of them. Keep pedaling on these downhills, just soft pedal. You can see here, I'm soft pedaling here. I'm just spinning lightly down the hills. I really wish I had like a 53 or a 54 here on the front and I could just kind of like slowly grind it over. But the 50 tooth at this speed, you're going to be still churning your legs pretty quick. I hit a bit of a flat here so you can see my power comes up. It's not as steep, I guess, so I need to apply some pedal power. Staying over 50k an hour all the way down this hill. And we should be picking back up again here right away. Yep, you can see the speed going up right now. Just cooking down the hill, right? Nice 7-8% grade on the TT bike. Just love it. Again, still quite spooky through here. Waiting for more skeletons to jump out at me. And then we're going to level out at the bottom here and slowly start climbing in. Yeah, coming up to the level. Yeah, we're bottoming out still. And then we'll start the climb again. But after this, we're done. So we've only got 36 meters of climbing to do up this little stretch here. So this looks like it's less than a kilometer to get up this little bump. And then I know it's downhill again at that point. So again, I think when I started this ride this morning, there was like over 100 riders. I think it said 107 riders online, which is great to see. Plus, all the other people doing the other stuff. I'm way behind on my challenges. I still haven't finished Global Tourist. I think it's the West Coast Namibia ride. I think it's called West Coast. I think it's in a national park. I did that ride last Monday, a week and a half ago, and I was just out of it. I just felt like I had no power, I couldn't finish it. Made it halfway, and I said, "Nah, I'd rather just bail and do it again." So I'll probably do that tomorrow morning, maybe the next day. The what's the Hardcore Explorer? I think I've done one ride out of it, and there's a hill one as well. I've done none of those, and I think all of these challenges there's only 13 days left. So lack of consistency, and also being sick, traveling too much, and just my preference to ride other things. Like I just want to do different rides. So I noticed at this point too, someone popped up behind me. I believe their name is Low Gear. Looked like a really strong rider. And they just popped up out of nowhere. And I couldn't tell if that's because they were chasing me down all the way. Was I their dangling carrot that day? Um, so they were following me all the way, matching me power for power, high level rider. So I'm like, okay, let's get motivated here. Let's go. Let's go. I'm on a downhill. I'm trying to stay away. There's someone right ahead of me I'm cruising up on. I think I noticed with this person here too that I was figuring I was the heavier rider, or maybe more on an aerodynamic bike. Yeah, I think they do have a road bike when we hit them. So I'm trying to match their power here, and you can see I'm slowly just gaining on them the whole time. I'm not putting out excessive power to catch them. We're riding the same, roughly two. They're on a road bike, and I just blow right by them. This is why you use a TT bike. This is the advantage you have on these downhills. So before I started this course today, not that I'm racing, not that I'm in great shape right now, I looked at it and knew I can hold on for those first 11 kilometers of good power and then use my TT bike aero advantage, a bit of weight advantage on the downhills to just keep rolling past people. And that's what just happened. That wasn't that rider power output. That was purely equipment, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm a bit heavier. Maybe that's been factored in. I don't think we'll ever get to know the true algorithms that are in place here. But the TT bike will help you speed up a lot quicker on the downhills and the flats. So Low Gear was doing a really good job coming at me. I did check Low Gear out after the ride, and they were only doing a partial ride. So these are things that you can find out afterwards. Again, go into your stats in the training diary. I looked up last passes again and saw that they only did I think a 7.5 kilometer ride. So imagine they started the ride, had to take a break for something, and then came back to it. And that's why they popped up behind me. I've got it set right now. I'm only seeing 2 riders behind me at any given time. So again, we're coming to the end of the ride. Here we go. Ghost flies across at the end. Um, and I think I averaged. So this is what Ruby's been doing lately too. 20-minute power, 262. I'm not impressed with that, but since one of the last resets has been doing things like that. 243 watts overall average. So you can see I've got my coins for XP, and I've got gold coins for buying neat little toys in Rouvy. Anyway, riders, thanks for tuning in again. Hope you appreciate the ride.